Master of Arts.
Today, I'm introducing myself as Master Instructor Elmer Glover Jr., 7th degree black belt instructor. I've been teaching martial arts for 28 years. And I teach the Cho-Chi-Zen system of karate. Assisting me today is Dr. Lee Tong. He's a 1st degree black belt master. He's been studying under me for the last 6 or 7 years.
Là phần phát biểu của chiến hữu Lý Tống. Xin kính mời chiến hữu Lý Tống lên có đôi lời với hai bạn trẻ Trần Văn Bé Tư,
Dương Ngọc Cư và Trần Văn Bé Tư. Không những chỉ là bạn mà còn là em, coi như em của tôi. Đã quen với Ngọc Cư từ những ngày vượt ngục ở tại Sài Gòn, vượt ngục từ trại tù A30 về Sài Gòn, và Dương Ngọc Cư ngày đó tự nhận được làm một người em trên nghĩa.
And have been kept in jail for almost 6 years. During that time, I tried to escape from the communist jail many times. The first time in 1975, but I failed. The last time, 1980, I escaped from the A30 prison from Tuy Hoa and went back to Saigon.
Community here in the valley is appealing for his release from a Hanoi prison.
We would like to ask the people in Arizona, urge our president to hold Hanoi communist regime responsible for the life of Captain Lee Tong.
There will be a rally of support for Lee Tong at the state capitol, 10 o'clock Sunday morning, sponsored by the Valley Vietnamese community.
Quest to rescue a freedom fighter from the communists in their homeland. They held a meeting today in front of the state capitol to talk about the plight of Lee Tong, considered a hero among the Vietnamese. Tong escaped from Vietnam to America in 1983, but returned to his home and was rearrested there last month. Now Vietnamese refugees are leading an effort to put pressure on Hanoi to release Tong, and they are asking for help from people of all nations.
States. He settled in Louisiana, where he got his PhD in political science. In September of this year, Tong felt it was his mission to go back to communist Vietnam and push for democracy. Supporters say he dropped 50,000 pro-democracy leaflets from a plane over Ho Chi Minh City before being captured by the Hanoi government. In Phoenix today, the Vietnamese community came out in support of Tong. At a rally at the state capitol, they signed petitions asking the U.S. government to intervene and see Tong is treated humanely and given a fair trial.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I will contribute my part in the fighting against communists until my last breath.
Nhiều lần
cứ điểm đầu tiên tôi đã phát động một cái cuộc tấn công trở về Việt Nam, và tôi nghĩ rằng trong tương lai Miami sẽ là một cứ điểm thứ nhì để tấn công vào thành trì cộng sản trên thế giới.
Charles, an airspace scare that is, this New Year's weekend. A U.S. pilot faces questioning about his venture into Cuban airspace. The man traveled there to drop anti-communist leaflets. He promises wherever people live under oppression, he will go there and urge people to fight.
I'm a freedom fighter, see? So anywhere there's no justice, no freedom, I come there to fight for it.
This self-proclaimed freedom fighter admits to U.S. Customs officials he flew this rented single-engine Cessna early Saturday, violated Cuban airspace, and dropped the literature.
The most important thing is I try to encourage and appeal the Cuban people, see, to stand up, to rise up, to overthrow the Havana tyrant. That's it. And maybe in the future, in North Korea, in China, anywhere there come communists, I will go there and fight it for.
Tong says he left the Tamiami airport this morning, stopped in Key West to refuel, and then headed south.
During that process, the Cuban government launched 2 MiGs that were observing his activities in Cuban airspace, but took no action.
U.S. Customs tracked the plane as well until it returned to Miami without incident about 10:30 this morning. Upon his return, the FAA brought Tong in for questioning.
And at this hour, no word of any charges. Tonight, Customs officials have since released Mr. Tong, but the FAA has revoked his pilot's license. Officials say Tong has no known ties to any exile group here in South Florida. And so far, no word this evening from the Castro government about all this.
The pilot is under arrest after making a dangerous flight into Cuban airspace. He wanted to take a message to Cuba's people, but he ran into some frightening firepower, and it turns out this pilot is no stranger to danger. Benno Schmidt is live at the Tamiami airport working this story. Benno?
Well, Martha, that pilot says he took this small Cessna you see here behind me, rented the craft, took it into Cuba this morning out of a sense of mission. We'll show you quickly now inside. You can still see on the floor, littered on the floor of this plane, some of those leaflets, those anti-Castro, anti-communist leaflets. Given what we found about this pilot, this dangerous, daring flight into Cuba is really hardly unusual. Lee Tong's self-proclaimed mission ended with his tiny rented Cessna meeting up with a huge U.S. Customs Black Hawk helicopter. Tong claims his freedom flight was actually easy.
I spent only 3 hours from Key West to Havana and back here. Easy. I mean, that's something that anybody can do if they wanted to do. See?
Tong, if anyone, should know. He was jailed after hijacking a Vietnamese airliner, tossing leaflets onto Saigon. He flew dozens of combat flights during the Vietnamese War over hostile territory. His exploits even compared to a real-life James Bond. Tong, seen standing with the owner of the rented Cessna, of course, not enlightening her of his real intentions. He even went on a reconnaissance mission to Key West. He saw the Cuban MiGs hot on his trail and says he flew so low over the water, they had trouble spotting him.
I fly 10 feet over the sea. How can they see? Oh, they know some guys that intrude the airspace, but they don't know exactly where I am. See? And thus I escaped easy.
But why? Why risk being blown from the sky by Castro's pilots?
I believe in justice. I believe in my destiny. I was born to do that mission, so I cannot be shut down. I have been shut down once in 1975. See? That's it.
Rare praise from U.S. Customs, who say Tong is very lucky to be alive.
I think the pilot's probably a little bit lucky, and we're glad that the Cubans showed some restraint in this matter.
Back live now, a look at this rented plane. Tong says he spent $10,000 to rent the plane, even getting a private pilot's license. That license revoked. Officials tell us Tong could face additional charges.
Actions, the latest, quote, counter-revolutionary provocation by an imperialist neighbor.
A daredevil pilot dropping leaflets over Havana on New Year's Day. The airspace scare ending with the pilot back on U.S. soil and in handcuffs. But tonight, the Cuban-American Veterans Association is applauding the move, and the pilot is vowing to continue his ways.
What I did a couple of days ago is just the first step. I don't want to stop right there.
That pilot intercepted by a pair of Cuban MiGs after they say he invaded Cuban airspace.
Now tonight, scathing remarks out of Havana over this man's millennium message. On our team's Derek Hayward with more.
Pursued by this U.S. Customs jet and this Customs Black Hawk helicopter, then handcuffed and put in the back of a police car, but don't expect regrets or apologies from this former South Vietnamese Air Force pilot, who flew this single-engine Cessna about 10 feet above the water to evade radar, to make it to the skies over Havana New Year's morning, distributing thousands of pamphlets urging the Cuban people to rise up against, quote, that old dinosaur Fidel Castro.
The injustice, no freedom. I feel obliged to contribute my part in that stuff. See?
We're happy that some restraint was shown on the part of the Cuban MiGs. And
it is unclear if Fidel Castro was showing restraint or if he was nervous about taking on an American fighter that had been scrambled to monitor the situation. But today he fired back with written words. A communique reading, "From the north in mischievous and brutal fashion, a new offensive came on Saturday." But to Cuban Americans who fought communism in Vietnam, pilot Lee Tong is a brother.
A brother and a hero. I feel very happy about it because a pilot, a small Cessna, flew over Havana with all the power that Fidel Castro had and couldn't do anything to a small plane.
You like the fact he just thumbed his nose at
right.
Fidel Castro?
Yeah, right. We like it very much.
Yeah, yeah.
And we are very proud of him. I have no fear. You shouldn't have a fear. No, you have no fear. And you have the will, you can overthrow any tyrant.
But tonight, the U.S. State Department is taking the side of the Castro regime, calling Lee Tong's adventure, quote, reckless and provocative. This is a man who was shot down in the skies over North Vietnam, a man who commandeered a jetliner to distribute anti-communist leaflets over Ho Chi Minh City before jumping out with a parachute. It is unlikely tonight that he's going to lose any sleep over what anyone is saying about it. In the Newsplex, Derek Hayward, 7 News, Night Team.
The Vietnamese man who made a daring flight over Cuba is being praised in South Florida. Brothers to the Rescue, along with the Cuban-American Veterans Association, publicly thanked Lee Tong. On New Year's Day, Tong flew a small plane over Havana and dropped 50,000 anti-Castro leaflets. 2 Cuban MiGs reportedly trailed him but did not take action. Tong from New Orleans says he actually practiced getting in and out of U.S. airspace for several days before the flight.
I did get out and get in the U.S. airspace 10 days. 2 hours every day. I get in, get out. I practiced 10 days ago, see? They did not detect me.
The Cuban government is blasting Tong, calling him, quote,
Freedom fighter Lee Tong manned a machine gun in the parade. He's the pilot who, you recall, dropped pro-democracy leaflets on Havana. The crowd went wild for him, loved it when he stopped to give a bewildered-looking Ilion a big hug and a kiss. Not everyone could get kissing close to Ilion. In fact, 4 people were arrested while allegedly trying. Police say they refused orders to back away after crowding up too close where the boy was sitting. Not just any kid. Ilion Gonzalez had a big day at the parade. Gary.
Am I off track here? No, we're right here.